Welcome to Code of Conduct. That's right. I'm Stephen Belanfonte, the most loved, most hated. I don't know why. I'm kind of a cool guy. Anyway, yeah, we got the legendary Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, and an amazing, amazing person. If you don't know who he is, you need to get off of this and hit Google real quick. Moving right along, we got Bosco 100. He's the funniest gangbanger on the internet.
I know gangbanger, man.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, yo, and we got Tru Life. That's right. People in New York say there's only two kings in New York, and he's both of them. Tru Lizzy. And we got Fazion Love. You know, amazing comedian, actor, just one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life. My favorite movie is Elf. No, it's not. It's Couples Therapy.
Yeah, Couples Therapy was here.
Yeah, and we got JoJo Capone. His audio is not working, but when it does, he'll
He's live from the trap phone.
Live from the trap phone. So anyway, guys, listen. You know, a lot of things happening in in the world right now. I wanted to get everybody's thought on kind of the looting aspect of this, and I wanted to kind of address that and see what you guys thought about that.
First of all, them Long Beach niggas was out of pocket for hitting that Ross. I seen that shit. I seen that.
Why?
That was out of pocket.
Why you can't hit a Ross?
What are you getting at Ross? What was you picking up? Some new oven mittens or something? What the fuck are you getting at Ross?
Always get a good deal at Ross. You can find a good deal.
You get toilet paper.
I'm just saying, like, bro, like if you're trying to make a statement, Ross is not a statement, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like Ross, seriously, Ross.
Shopping for less.
I can hear y'all now.
Capone!
So Joe, what up?
Lizzie the Kid, everybody on the check-in, what's good?
Hold on, cousin.
So, I mean, no, seriously, I mean, listen, do you think that, that are doing peaceful marches convey their message by being part of this? What happened?
No.
It's two different things. One's supposed to be a protest, and then you have looters. So they're using the time of the protest and the demonstration to loot.
Looting and vandalism is a byproduct of protesting at times. We all know that. The police know that. Everybody know that. We saw when that man got killed, we knew automatically that it was going to be protest, and we know what oftentimes come with protest. So people are going to, in times like these, there are going to be people who are out for self and are going to vandalize and loot for personal gain. So that's just part of what comes with it. But we should not be like focused on the vandalism and the looting. Yeah, we can say, yeah, man, the looting, that's bad or whatever. But the thing is that if you're going to be critical about the looting, don't be critical. If you're going to be critical about the looting, first of all, you need to show me a history of you being critical about my oppression before you show, if you're going to be critical about my resistance. You dig what I'm saying? Like most of the people that's complaining about the looting are the same people that was complaining about the protesting. The looting just gave them an excuse to complain and talk shit, because anytime you're talking about black advancement, black progression, you're going to run into roadblocks. It's peers, a certain group of people, they just hate us no matter what we do. Anything that we do that looks like we might be trying to get together and advance our culture, they're going to have a problem with it.
First of all, looting is a part of American history. America has gotten advanced through looting and riots. That's what the Tea Party was all about. They looted the motherfuckers and they took their tea, looted it, and put it into the ocean. That's what the whole Tea Party was about. So riots are nothing new.
But is rioting and looting really getting us into results politically, though? Like, are we seeing political results? Are we seeing political results that's gonna change the outcome of the situation from their rioting and looting, though? That's the thing. That's my whole.
Political results is not what this is about. What this is about is you done pissed a bunch of people off. I was a part of the 92 riot. I was out there. I was active last time. In 92, I was active.
Yeah, but you guys didn't accomplish shit from the 92 riots, in my opinion. In my opinion, all you did was fuck up our city and
No.
niggas still been getting fucked. Niggas still been getting beat and killed since. Like I felt like they picked and chose on that one.
We've been fighting police since the 80s.
Since the 60s.
Well, I'm talking about me personally.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me personally. So when Q wrote "fuck the police" in the 80s, that was speaking to us like, yeah, fuck the police, because we was fighting the police. So that's the same sentiment right now. It's the same shit. But now this is different because.
But we're not attacking. The thing is, we're not attacking the police though. No one is really attacking the police. That's the thing. It's fuck the police. But we're not attacking the police. These people are attacking businesses and stores that we shop at. Just weird shit. We're not attacking the police.
That property can be replaced. All what's going on now is descendants of property is fucking up property. These are descendants of property. Niggas was property at one time.
We still is. You still is property if you got a social security number. Yeah. Anybody on here that got a social security number is property still.
Right.
They need to change them laws, man. Them laws that Constitution, all that stuff needs to be.
All that shit.
That's the thing.
That's where it's gonna start.
Exactly. And rioting and looting is not going to get that done.
Bosco, he said pretty much the thing right now. I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Not worrying about voting for the president. Forget about that. Forget about president voting. It comes down to voting for whoever your DA is, whoever your governor, your police, chief or whatever. You got to do local. You got to gather people around, and that's the only thing that changes anything in the government. Other than that, people are going to be frustrated. They're going to loot. They're going to march. They're going to do whatever. And I don't think any of that stuff really works, to be honest with you. But I think if you take the power of them people that was out there marching and looting or do whatever, because that's just frustration, and you take them and you give them the correct way. The correct way is to get together, and you can change the person who's the DA that wants to put you in prison for life. You can change the police chief that tells his police officers that it's okay to hit you. You can do a lot of stuff by just getting involved at the local level in your government.
Yes, but
I
not
agree.
by looting, not by looting and rioting. That's not going to get it done.
That looting is what they call collateral damage. It's just collateral damage. You have a war. It's going to be some. If there's a war here, there's going to be some tanks running through houses. That's collateral damage.
Yeah. I agree that we have to get active locally in local politics. I agree that we definitely have to get active in local politicians. Let me tell you what I know about America. America respects two things only: money and blood. Now, you got one or the other, you're going to get America's attention. Money and blood. Money and blood. And I disagree about the 92 riots. It was effective. Anytime the 92 riots, they burned a lot of stuff. But I believe 47 people or something like that got killed in those riots. Yeah. It got their attention, and that was some movement. Not a whole lot, like you said, Bosco. It wasn't. It don't seem like nothing really changed.
It was a movement, but it was a negative. It was a negative movement. It didn't move towards nothing.
We had no other choice.
They didn't change nothing though.
If you're not moving, but if you're not moving at all, you're stagnant. And if you're stagnant, you're stuck. And I disagree. That was some positive things that came out of that movement.
Hell yeah! Your first black chief mayor, your police chief came out of that. From Philadelphia. Yeah.
But there were also some initiatives that burned from that. That was some after school initiatives that was established. I don't know how sustainable it was, but that was also at a point in time, the murder rate went down significantly. Now you might say, well, that don't mean nothing. It got right back up.
That's right.
But the thing about it, for some months there, LA was recording some of the lowest murders, in its history. Now, somebody might say, well, that ain't no big deal. Well, tell that to some of the parents and family members who were able to hold on to their loved ones, for a little longer.
It was a whole different sentiment after the riots between the police and because if you think about it, ain't been no beating like that in LA really since.
Oh no. It has been caught on camera like that. That was
It has.
Oh.
Niggas been getting killed. Niggas been getting murdered. Like, what are you talking about? It
By
has.
who? By the police?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Hold on.
Niggas been, bro. To me, in my opinion, we got fucked up in the '60s. In the '60s, we had them riots. We got fucked up. They didn't really accomplish. We got fucked up. Nigga, in the '90s, we got fucked up. We didn't really accomplish too much. Like, we fucked the city up, but it didn't accomplish nothing politically. And I don't think right now this is accomplishing anything politically.
Bosco, but you can't say it didn't accomplish anything, because just bringing awareness to then you accomplish something. When you put eyeballs on something, because to be honest with you, even all the craziness that's going on right now in LA and across the world or whatever, the world is looking at us and everybody's looking at us. So if nobody would have even said anything, if nobody would have protested, nobody would have said anything about, that video, it would have that would have just been gone. They would have swept that under the rug. I mean,
of course.
I guarantee you, before.
That's not what I'm saying, though. Only thing I'm saying is, if we are not going to advance,
no.
This shit is a political.
You said it 3 times.
You can't advance politically. Number one, because all your rules are under slave law. All that constitution shit is under slave law. You can't advance politically with the government. It's the community that advances. There's no China. You ever see a Chinese community going, damn, they fucking us up? They don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with the motherfucking Korean community. They don't fuck with the Korean community. Don't fuck with the law. They got their own law within their own community. We don't have a community. We have a hood.
Well, one of the things about that, though, you got to consider this, though. We're the only people in this country who don't have a country. We're the only people in this country who don't have a country that would have our back.
Right there, though.
One of us, if something happens to one of us, any type of injustice, no country out there, including none of the countries in Africa, will come to our defense.
You know why?
We have no country to back us at all. So we're out here all on our own. So when something happens, we got to go up against the whole entire government. If something happens to somebody else that's from a different country, they have other countries, even if they're not from that country, if they are of that predominant race that's in that country, that it's an international crisis. It becomes an international crisis. Trade stops. Wars could start. All kinds of things. So this is why they don't fuck with nobody else. They fuck with us because they know they don't even fuck with Africans. When the last African that they really violated was Amadou Diallo. That was what, 25 years, 30 years ago? They don't fuck with Africans because they know that it's gonna create a problem. But us, we have no country to have our back, so we out here all alone, and we're fighting we're up against the biggest military power that's known to man. So this is if you really think about it, no group of people has ever been able to reach their full potential when they're being targeted by their own government. The government makes the rules, the government enforces the rules, or supposed to enforce the rules. So now with that said, we've had some great strides. We have millions of success stories, and many of us, including everybody that's on this panel right now, have slipped through the cracks and figured out a way to survive and make it. But millions more didn't have the fortitude or ran out of time.
Tru's Puerto Rican. There's a Puerto Rico, so he has a country.
That's America, though. That's America.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is, do you think that being Puerto Rican, you have less of a problem? Because I would say that everybody, minorities in general, have the same problem. I don't know if it's just a black problem.
I definitely ain't got no less of a problem. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying is, when do we go really? Ain't no changes really been made over the year. Ain't no president came in and prosecuted cops for killing blacks. None of that.
All them black.
Obama didn't do that shit. If everybody was so concerned, everybody wanted to put the weight on Trump. Oh yeah, Trump ain't doing nothing. What president has done anything to stop this shit? Like Obama didn't do shit. Obama didn't get prosecuted any officers that was accused of killing blacks or whatever the case was.
Obama didn't make any laws to help. Obama didn't do anything. So anybody who thought Obama did something, they was just brainwashed and
everybody was just happy to have a black president. Everybody was so infatuated and wrapped up in the fact that, oh my God, we got a black president. But what the fuck did he really do for us, though?
Trump pardoned more black people off of death row than Obama did. I mean, it's I don't know how he got him pinned as the ultimate racist.
Yeah, but while Trump pardoning black people off death row, they ramping up the motherfuckers that they putting on death row. So Trump ain't shit. Let's not act like
more federal judges
death row, or he released 3,000 inmates, black inmates, that he done something special. The motherfucker ain't telling you that he locked up an additional 300,000 while he's been in office.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, I want to be very clear on this. He's no better. When people think Obama's better, none of them. I put them both in the same.
I agree.
None of them did shit.
They work for a corporation. America is a corporation. This shit ain't even a company. It's a corporation, man. So at the end of the day, Trump put more federal judges in position than anybody. There was a reason for that. You're going to trump up the laws that you can change every given day, and we going to be the ones that suffer from it, period. That's just how it's been going. So it's systematic racism, systematic slavery. It's still going on. The police, you got to go back to the point of what police was even for. The police was to police the slaves from not running away from plantation. That was their only origin in existence, period.
That nigga speaking shit.
That's the truth. That's the whole origin of police, period. Police.
I heard that. I heard that before.
That's the real.
They was created to monitor plantations, man.
Yeah, because they had the sheriff and the marshal. The police was created for niggas.
American police or police in general? Because
police in general.
Police.
That's what
marshal and the sheriff. That was law. The police was created to police niggas, to slaves.
The police was created to police black people. This is my guy. He likes to use the N-word a lot, but we are not niggas. We are black people.
Let me speak on this too, though, Willie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a misconception of the word niggas. Niggas is negus. N-E-G-U-S. It's an Ethiopian word, and it's pronounced negus. Over in Europe, when they came back into the Americas to try to describe us, which negus means king. But when they tried to describe us, they said niggas. And they put the ER on it and made it a derogatory term towards us. But that's not what the original word means.
Yeah,
so when we do say niggas, you just got to say negus, the correct spelling.
Well, say negus. Say negus. I'm saying negus because I know that I know when I hear black men say niggas, they mean it the way white folks meant it. They're saying it in the way that white folks said it.
They saying it from thinking that they taking the power away from them. You know the old slang, saying sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Well, in that case, why they not calling each other pussy, a bitch? Because that's coming next. You know what I'm saying? Like that word bitch got a lot of power in it. If you call somebody a bitch, it's a fight coming.
No, JoJo, you know what?
There might be a bullet coming, nigga.
JoJo, what they say in Chicago, JoJo?
But if you gonna be as a grown adult, if someone call you a bitch, you gonna go to the definition. It's a female dog. If you're not a dog, you ain't gotta respond to it. So it's the ignorance, brother. It's the lack of knowledge. It's the lack of knowledge.
No, you call somebody out of their name and they get.
That's cool, but but because that's his ignorant stance. That's that person's ignorant stance. That's it. If you call me a bitch, I know the difference. I can say, listen, a bitch, a female dog. It don't pertain to me. Or I can smack the shit out you or beat your motherfucking ass for calling me a bitch if I want to get on that type of time. Right. So we got to teach each other these things. We don't take our time enough to break down this dialogue the way we doing now. We don't.
So let me just be clear. Because you know you're not a bitch, if a dude call you a bitch, it ain't no problem.
No, I'm saying it shouldn't be a problem because it's only words. That word should. I'm a man. That word shouldn't hurt me or offend me at all.
It shouldn't.
That's like teaching us tough skin. That word shouldn't hurt me. What that word gonna do?
It shouldn't. But because you're a human, because you're a man, there's certain shit that I'm sure you ain't gonna tolerate somebody telling you, and you thinking everything cool. I hear exactly.
A lot of that is lifestyle, though, where you grow up at, though. Like, you know, a lot of that has to do with where you grow up at. When you grow up and you hear it so much from a kid, you don't really, you know, and you see like not being somebody calling you nigga. Because where I'm from, Spanish niggas use the word nigga all the time. Black, Spanish, we all like, and we don't say it like nigga, like calling somebody in a derogatory way or like saying it in a racist way to call somebody a nigga, like in a KKK kind of way. We call it like greeting each other. Like that's just how we kind of grew up from when we were small. So we was taught the wrong way, whether we were kind of taught the wrong way, I guess. You understand? And it just kind of stuck. It's almost like a tradition that just got passed down at this point. It's like trying to stop gangbanging. Gangbanging ain't right. Like, you know, years ago, I was trying to stop gangbanging in New York because that was never our lifestyle. We never did that. JoJo would tell you, I was the only one who stepped up and spoke on, you know, dudes calling themselves Bloods in New York, whatever gang it was, like West Coast gangs, that wasn't us. You know, because I know the culture in LA and I know that wasn't us. But now I come out of prison 8 years later. I can't tell these kids like, oh, we ain't grew up doing it like that. Because now these kids grew up doing it like that. They grew up gangbanging now. They gangbanging in Brooklyn now. So it's a little different me talking to a youngster,
I don't know what the fuck
16 years old, you know, and telling them about.
Rappers started that shit because I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, first rappers started shit. Stop blaming shit on rappers, man.
It ain't rappers.
No, the rappers popularized the rappers popularized it, Willie.
Rappers
The
ain't
word
used
nigga?
one word that hadn't been used before rap started. Y'all act like
I'm
all
talking
this
about-
bad shit started.
No, he talking about gangbanging.
I'm talking about gangbanging.
Oh, the gangbanging for sure. The rappers popularized that, and I tried to stop it from coming to where I was from.
I didn't know
doing
I
that.
didn't know nothing about gangbanging in my life until Snoop Dogg came out. Like that's when I knew, like, oh, he from Long Beach, he a Crip. That was my introduction. I ain't know nothing about gangbanging.
But
So
the word nigga, like I don't know, that just been around like from as far as I can remember. Like everybody called it. Everybody said the word nigga, but not in a NIGGER way, like nigger. Like it was like, what up, my nigga? Like love, like you greeted your brother, like we greeted our brothers like that. Like, you know, like I don't know. You know the history obviously of slavery and the white man, you know, disrespecting the black man and using it in a derogatory way. You know, but we didn't grow up using it that way. I don't know where it started, but it was just a phase that just been around. And when you accustomed to doing something for so long, it's kind of like a little hard to, I guess, take it out of your vocabulary.
In the 80s, we actually sold the word nigga. My era, there was a group called NWA, Niggas with Attitude. In order to buy that album, white kids had to go into the store and say, let me get Niggas with Attitude. If you rap along to all the lyrics, it's a nigga, nigga, nigga in it. So it's kind of like we showed them the right to say that word.
Right, which is why they argue the fact that say, y'all want us to not say the word nigga, but it's cool for us to buy y'all music. Right. It was a catch-22. So that's why they argue the fact like they made the word nigga hip-hop now. Nigga is a hip-hop slang.
The thing about the word to me is context. I'm saying to you, like, I don't like somebody calling me a nigga. Because you know what I'm saying? I don't like nobody calling me boy either. I know they don't mean no harm. I got homeboys that be like, they ain't seen me in a while. They be like, what's up, boy? Like, oh, well, you like, well, I ain't gonna say homeboys, I'll say associates. They may have not seen me in a while. They see me, what's up, boy? Like, yo, motherfucker, don't call me boy. I don't like that shit. You know, like, I think it boiled down to this. Growing up, we all learned a lot of shit backwards. You know, like, oftentimes, you know, like when you're growing up, like the way we grew up, many of us grew up, you learn everything that's right is wrong and everything wrong is right in your mind. You know, that's how we learn. Like I learned to settle conflict with fists and guns and insults. So somebody, you have conflict with somebody, that means somebody finna get hit, somebody get shot, somebody finna get stabbed, somebody finna get insulted. It took me years to reverse that and learn how to have effective communication in order to avoid these type of situations. I mean, I get exactly what you're saying, Tru. I get exactly what all you guys are saying. Even when you got a woman, when you're dealing with your own woman, there's certain things you can tell another woman that you can't tell this woman right here because she don't play that shit, you know? And y'all know what I'm talking about, you know? So I think it comes down to, you know, what what it is that a person is willing to accept and what they're not willing to accept. Because I can tell you, I told my sister one day, look, I hadn't heard from her in a while, and I said, look what the wind blew in. And she fucking lost it. She got offended. What you mean? What you mean? Look what the wind blew in. You talking to me like I'm trash or something? Like, I always thought that was like a term of endearment. Like, you hadn't seen somebody in a while. Look what the wind blew in. Oh, you know, that's cool. But she had a problem with it. When she told me, I was shocked that she had a problem with it. And when I explained what I meant, she still had a problem with it, and I never told her that again.
But Willie, don't you think you can surmise from that whole thing of everybody just saying is that it comes down to, because listen, JoJo lives in Chicago, and I know for a fact they call each other bitch all day long, and that's just like a term of endearment, the same way that it's like, yo, nigga, what's up, blah, 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 blah.
Bitch is a term of endearment in Chicago?
I mean, they use it, but my generation, we tolerated no disrespect. You called anyone us a bitch, you was getting a punkin' head. My generation ain't play that. But my children generation right now, they accept that shit. That's what they do.
So that's what I'm saying. It's different things from different things. So at the end of the day, every generation, right? So it's a generation that maybe didn't like rock and roll or didn't like this or didn't like that. But the young kids, it's like what Tru said. When he got out of jail after 8 years and people was gangbanging, he can't go around and tell people that ain't what we're about because they're not about it. So I'm doing it. And whatever they did, whatever they do, that's what they do. And we may not accept it. I'm older. We're all older. We're all a little more educated in the sense of life and life lessons and this, that, or whatever. But a lot of young kids don't want to. They don't give a shit about that. And I know. Look, people get mad at white people going singing a song like, yo, nigga, this, that. I grew up with a lot of white kids that lived in the hood that was like, yo, nigga, what's up? What's poppin'? And no one said nothing. Tru grew up with Asian kids that say it. You know, different people grow up with a lot of different people. And if you grow up in that environment, who's to tell you can't say it?
I disagree about saying whether we can tell somebody, a youngster, you know, what they should or shouldn't be saying. One of the reasons why the youngsters are so wild is because we dropped the ball. A lot of us fail to carry out our obligations to the youngsters, and that's why a lot of them is as wild as they are. And just because we dropped the ball don't mean we can't pick that motherfucker back up and run with it and say, yo, youngster, look here, man. I hear you, but I'm telling you, I think it's the better way. Now, it's up to them to accept it. We ain't got to try to pound it into them, but, you know, at least you speak on it.
It was reasons the ball was dropped. Drugs, mass incarceration, and liquor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So once again, it's a CIA government ploy behind all that. They don't want us to raise, just like right now. When they give our women Section 8, in they terms, no felon, or in some cases just blatantly, no man can live in that house. We the only ones they do that to.
Yeah. It's a reason the ball was dropped, but ultimately we knew, every last one of us that got caught up, we knew where those traps were. And we walked in the motherfucking traps anyway. So ultimately, it's our responsibility to make sure these motherfuckers don't get us. We know they dirty. We know they trapping us. We know these motherfuckers don't like us. But ultimately, it falls on our responsibility to make sure that these motherfuckers don't displace us and pull us away from our babies. So that
you can't do that, Willie, when they got a systematic agenda, bro. You can't do that. If they tell them to profile you, if you ain't got a white sheet over your head, they pulling your ass over. So you guilty by your skin complexion. You know what I'm saying? Guilty by the area you live in.
I agree. I totally agree with that. But the system don't make you go up in a broad raw that ain't educated. You ain't got no job. You uneducated. The system don't make you do that. It just doesn't make you do that. Yeah, it sets the traps, but it don't make you go up in a broad raw and then breed and have multiple kids by multiple women, or forces you to not take care of your responsibilities when you do get a baby. The system don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the system do give you a low-paying job where you can't even afford a $5 pack of condoms. and you still resist it. I mean, we can go all day about that.
You can't afford condoms. If you can't afford condoms and you got a weak pull-out game, jack off on your stomach or the floor, wherever the hell you do it, that's what you're gonna have to do. You don't get the fuck like everybody else if you can't handle your responsibility.
Everybody communicates a little different, like, and everybody got different slangs and different hoods, you know, like the West Coast got certain slangs, New York got certain slangs. So I think it's not just what you say, but like how you say it, you know, in certain approaches, because certain things mean different things in different cultures and in different places. You know, like, boy, I can see how you take that personal, because you're an older man, right, who's from the South, where boy was very disrespectful. So, like, you know, where I'm at, niggas be like, yo, what's up, boy, and all that. Like, you know, it's really, like, it's different, but, like, that's, like, it's New York. So you kind of have to understand, like, New York culture and, like, you know, New York streets of how we kind of communicate amongst each other and how the blacks and the Spanish kind of communicate with each other in the streets. It's just different than the South, and it's different in LA.
So what?
Like, there's not many places where, you know, like in the South where you from, there's not many Puerto Ricans. So you probably not used to hearing a Spanish person say the word nigga. But where I'm from, you know, where I grew up at, it's all Spanish, blacks. We all grew up in the hood in poverty, and we all the same thing. And we ain't no different. You know, Spanish people are really Indians. We learned Spanish when we got conquered by the Spaniards. You know, we not Spanish. Puerto Rico, look at the map. Puerto Rico is very far away from Spain. I'm not from Spain. I'm from Puerto Rico. We got robbed for everything. You know, we got robbed for everything. We was once kings and we was Indians, and we got robbed for our whole culture. The Indians got robbed and killed from the beginning of time. You know, so it's just different. I feel like it depends where you from and of how people gonna take certain things. Like, I know I can't say certain things in certain places. You got to know how to kind of switch it up. Me just being in traveling and, you know, learning about the South and having me being blessed and fortunate enough to be able to go to the South and go to LA and go here and go there. I just see that the culture's a little different every year.
There's a word that y'all say in Texas, Willie, that you can't say in Chicago, that you get killed for. You know what word that is? Folks.
Folks? Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
You say that in Chicago.
That's what I mean. Good point.
Or the same way people in the South say cuz. They call each other cuz or blood. You know, what's up, blood? And if you go to LA and you in the Crip hood saying what's up, blood, now some can say he got a different accent, so we know he not from here and give him a pass. Or one can be, once again, ignorant to the fact and just try to bomb on you.
Every nigga in Oakland call you a blood.
Yeah, because that's still the 60s slangs that they using, the slangs from the 60s. So you just think everybody keeps saying race this is one race, the human race, man, and different ethnicities, period. That's facts. If they teach us scientific facts, that's a scientific fact. If we all cut our skin, it's going to bleed red. So at the end of the day, we all speak a word of a colonizer. We all right here speaking English, when we probably all should be speaking Swahili. You see what I'm saying? But because our ancestors was raped of everything, we deal with what's over here. You got a lot of people that say we not Africans. We don't come from Africa. You got a lot of people say that, but it's hard. You can't say that scientifically if the birthplace of civilization was Ethiopia. So everybody descended from there. So me, I can never be a racist person because I have the knowledge of that. Because I do have that knowledge, I can't be racist. I just understand who I'm dealing with. That's his culture. That's like doing all this going on. Each country is showing revolts. And man, it's so funny because even in Berlin, Germany, one of the most racist places on earth, you know what I'm saying, that has something to do with the eugenics movement for birth control, to kill off our generations of people, and they protesting right now. So each generation gonna be different. They're gonna adapt to different things. Once again, it's just gonna all go back into that for over here, those amendments, man. Them amendments have to get changed. If them don't get changed, we gonna continue to go through this for 50 or 100 more years.
Well, let me say, they can change all of that shit, or they can keep it the same. But the thing is that what needs to change is local government, because I'm gonna tell you, that Constitution, yeah, it's fucked up. The amendments, all that shit fucked up. But the thing is that these judges have a lot of latitude on what they can do in terms of sentencing or even indicting conviction, well, not judges, but when it comes to sentencing, judges have a lot of latitude. In some cases, conviction, because when you have a trial by judge, they can affect that. The thing is that in America, there are many different levels to how a person can be punished or be dealt with in the judicial system. You got race, or should I say ethnicity? You got ethnicity. You got money. You got gender. You have social economic status. So that, and you have the whether the case is high profile or not. So you have all of these things, and so the judges and the prosecutors have a lot of latitude as for what they can ask for. A prosecutor can say, you know what, I'm not going to even pursue this case. You know what, I'm not going to even put this before a grand jury. Let's say it get past the grand jury and you get to a trial, go to trial. The prosecutor can say, well, judge, we're asking for probation. Or the prosecutor say, okay, judge, we're asking for 10 years. We're asking for 20 years. All of the power ain't in the Constitution and in the amendment. The power is in the hands of the people who interpret the law. On a local level, your input, your support for local politicians and local government is going to be more immediate in most cases than voting on a national level.
You know why I stopped selling dope? Because I didn't like jail. And I was like, fuck, I can't do 30 years. I got partners coming out of jail since I was 16, doing 23, 30. That was San Diego. That, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That I understand that part of the law. Like, okay, motherfucker, that's the game. That's what he's supposed to do. That's his job. Because a lot of motherfuckers in jail supposed to be in jail. Don't get it twisted. Every nigga that get caught is not innocent.
But it's called entrapment though, Fazion, too. We all know from Freeway Ricky Ross case that the CIA, they the ones that's supposed to control our borders. They letting the work come over here. That's like dangling a steak in front of a hungry alligator. Wait,
are you talking about overall crime? Or are you talking about drugs? Because
no, I'm saying it's just period. But he was talking about drugs. But I'm just saying overall period. The sentencing guidelines and all that still stems from the Constitution. And then at the same token, the beers and all them people rule this over here. You know what I'm saying? So them judges work for somebody. So once they pass down they law, which is what they saying, what they say you want, the Illuminati, when they pass the law down, that's what it's gonna be. Which is why if the judge give you 10 years, you can take it to the Supreme Court. But you still sitting in that institution for 5 years before you can go up for appeal. Which is why when you came home and you wanted to get a government pardon, what Obama did was took it from 5 years and brung it down to 3. When he really should have brung it down to 2. You know what I'm saying? Because and he only done that because it was worldly known that the expectancy for a melanated man is 5 years that he gonna go to jail. And because that was in a law, he changed that. He was able to point out that was a racist view, and that's how he was able to change it from 5 years to 3 years for you to get a governor pardon.
I don't know nobody that got a pardon that I grew up with. That niggas are still coming out. So that partnership to me, like I don't know nobody. They don't. And then a lot of times, what come with that turf is murder. It ain't no really justice. Once you in that game, you in the game. Ain't no rules apply. You in the game. That's what they supposed to do.
Just look at the 13th Amendment, what the 13th Amendment allows.
I get you, but I'm telling you.
That 13th Amendment, once they put you in that jail, if you decide you don't want to do that free labor, because you basically a slave in them terms, you got to go to the hole. And they going to treat you unjust as a slave. The word slave ain't even been changed.
No. Listen, I get you, but the whole thing is we got to teach these kids, like, I say if a nigga still selling dope, you stupid because there ain't no money in it now.
Big facts.
Ain't no weight. Like you selling pills, nigga? What
You're doing basic crime in 2020 with all the DNA, with the cameras, with this, with that. I mean, obviously, come on. It's a different game.
It's not the time to be a criminal.
It's not the time to be a criminal. With JoJo, you would agree with that, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like when we did it, it was rape.
But the COVID-19 area might contradict that. The mask and the gloves.
But Fazion, speaking for myself, Fazion, I have never admitted to committing a crime.
No shit. I already know you would call. Listen, you really.
Me either.
Hey,
when they say you innocent until proven guilty, I've always been innocent. But if they decided to prove me not guilty, that's what they done. It was, you see what I'm saying? It's out of your control once you walk into that building. Look how many people getting profiled and getting work put on them that ain't never sold. Matter of fact, it's something trending right now. It's a melanated brother that's he's an FBI agent, and they bum rushed him, was trying to lock him up.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Hey, no, if you're wrong, you're racial profile. Am I? Yeah, you're wrong. You're assuming I'm someone that I'm not. Okay, get out of my face, man. You guys are harassing me. Yes, you guys are. Hey, you're fucking harassing me. Yes, you are. No. He's harassing me. Why are you harassing me? You're assuming I'm someone I'm not. For what? Can you tell me for what? For what? I'm under arrest for what? No. If you got the wrong guy, I'm suing all of you guys. Let me get your card. Can I get your card?
Guy, I'm telling you.
Wrong ID, motherfucker. You guys do got the wrong guy. You guys are fucking stupid. That's not you. You guys are racial profile thinking I'm somebody. No, don't hate me. Look at it. Oh, what does that say? What does that say? Oh.
Wrong guy.
Oh.
Wrong guy.
Oh my God. No, get the fuck off me, dude. Get off me, dude.
Bro, you fucked up.
Matter of fact, I need your cards. I need your supervisor over here. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor over here. You guys are the stupidest motherfuckers I ever met in my life. How'd you guys?
He's an FBI agent around the riots because they out there assisting the riots, bro. Yeah. It's all for the insurance scam. Man, put it like this: America is in debt to China. China owns 90-some% of our
that's right,
skyscrapers in the world. We're in debt to them. Trump don't want to pay them, so the only way you don't pay them is what? Pandemics and war.
JoJo, I want to ask you something, just real quick. Everybody's familiar with what JoJo was just talking about. There's a guy, he's sitting down, and two white officers walk up to him. They say, "We think you have a warrant." Out of the blue, he's like, "Yo, how do you know I have a warrant?" They're like, "Yo, we think you have a warrant," and he can tell he's cognizant enough to explain. He doesn't really get too hostile. They grab him a little bit. He kind of resists for a second, but he puts his hand behind his back. And the whole time, there's somebody filming him perfectly. Now, the guy that's filming him perfectly is a bit weird to me in the first place. Then he says, "Yo, look in my pocket." And they look at his pocket, and all of a sudden, they don't do no checkup on the ID or nothing. They just look at the ID and go, "Oh," and take his shit off, his handcuffs. And
that shit look fake as shit to me. I thought it was
fake, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna get it.
I think that was fake.
What'd you say?
I thought it was fake.
I think that was fake.
They didn't even run the ID.
When you open up
he got a badge. He got an FBI badge in there.
Let me tell you, those guys right there. Okay, watch this. Very simple. The protocol to that to happen is they're supposed to take his ID and you call in because it means
hell no.
You can't just look and say,
he has an ID, Steph. He got a federal ID, man.
Watch this. Hold on. Let me ask this. I'm gonna ask you guys one question though. One question. Let's suppose, because I'm guessing this guy was an undercover FBI agent. He's definitely not, because he would have said immediately. Hold on, he would have said immediately, "I'm FBI. Look in my back pocket."
No.
That's why he made them go in his back pocket. Exactly. That was his point and purpose for them to do that, because he still can't expose himself in public.
Okay, but watch this. But he did that on camera. So what he should have done, which is the craziest thing.
No, he never said he was an FBI agent. They read it.
I got you. But what he would have done was say, "Yo, take me to the car. I'm done. I don't want to talk to you motherfuckers. Take me to the car." And then
not when you a melanated man and you upset at how they being mistreated. The FBI mind frame came later, Steph. He had to deal with the fact that he was getting racially profiled, as you see, as he was saying that. That was his point.
Okay, how about this? I could be wrong. I'm gonna say it's fake.
No.
That's shit I call bullshit.
Yeah. Right. When you see him call his superior officer over there, and he still talk to them the way that he was,
right,
in and outside the cuffs, you go try it right now, then, and let's see if it's fake.
Love and hip hop
propaganda to make people think, and to see a black man get released by some white people. Just go watch it. And the guy that's filming the whole time films it perfectly. Everything is perfect. Just watch it back again. It's a propaganda.
Why were you even filming him in the first place?
Propaganda is to serve a side. Whose side are you gonna serve but ours?
Okay. Just watch.
Why was he filming him in the first place? Why were
they filming? Why were they filming Floyd?
Why was the white people writing Black Lives Matter on spray painting, and then you seeing the police and agents with the things in their ear, busting out the windows, passing out bricks? Come on, bro, this COINTELPRO all over again. They use these times. They do these times to cover up some more shit that's going on.
I would agree that maybe there is a little bit of whatever going on with people but with the most thing, listen, Fazion, anybody could know this. There's a lot of young white kids that grew up completely different, that are in whatever the urban experience they've grown up in. They feel like they even have the right to white Black Lives Matter, and they're completely white or whatever they are. It's completely different now. It's not the same.
They still know their history, though. You can't erase that. They still know the injustice.
I wanted to make sure Fazion and Tru were nice enough to get in, that we kind of let them get a little bit of airtime in or whatever. It would be nice to know with that subject, especially about the young white kids that are, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the young white kids that are rioting, and you see a lot of them busting windows, writing Black Lives Matter. You see a lot of people that are non-black, that are just Asian, white, whatever it is. And what is your thoughts on that?
I think we getting I think we're in a real confusing time, because Instagram allows so many people to have a voice and spread a lot of information that is not correct a lot of times, and that kind of fucks things up a lot too. Because a lot of these kids, the first thing you do when you wake up first thing you do is grab your phone. So you don't even look to the news. Your news now is Instagram. You grab your phone and you click through Instagram and you see everything that's going on. So I feel like there's so many different contradictions with the situation we in, even with the Trump situation. There's people saying that, Fauci and Bill Gates and all these people are the ones who leaked out the whole COVID-19 to get Trump out of office. Then there's people saying, no, Trump is the one who's doing it. And then it's this, and then it's that. Then they're saying, if you're black, you can't get COVID-19. Then it's the next day, only blacks get affected by COVID-19. So it's like so much misinformation through this right here that it's kind of hard, because everybody's all over the place and you don't really know what to believe at this point. There's so many different things, like even from the COVID to this. Now there's things, the new thing I just saw yesterday, they was trying to say that Floyd wasn't dead, that there was an ambulance that footage that was up, and it was 2 cops that hopped out. It's just like so much information, and it's just all over the place, that who is the reliable sources on Instagram, because this is the new news. It's like every rapper now is a journalist, is a scientist, is everything. So you don't even really know what to believe.
It's a scientist.
For real, you got dudes, you got rappers breaking down like what to do with COVID. Now you need a mixed Windex and drink it with tea, and take it in your lungs with a hot steam, and put a towel on your forehead, and you won't get it. You beat it.
Yeah,
I had that shit.
That's what we living in with Instagram, though. So that's the good thing about the internet. The good thing about the internet is we can get information out fast. We can do certain things like, there's a lot of positives that you can get out the internet, but then there's so many negatives that come out of it too, with, false information so fast, how you can make people believe things. The eye is sometimes the camera's faster than the eye. People edit things, make people believe things, make things go viral, spread false truths. So I just think it's a very hard time for a lot of people around the world, and it's a contradicting time, and you don't really know who's the reliable source.
Instagram is the news from people's opinions. It's not the news. It's the news from the blogger's opinion, or from their point of view.
A lot of influencers with a lot of followers who spread a lot of false truths all the time. Like they spread so many false truths because they just looking for clickbait. They looking for likes, they looking for comments, and they looking for clicks. So they just looking for any little thing. So they like clout chasing, you know, even off the Floyd situation. They clout chasing off of the COVID situation. They clout chasing off of almost every situation. It's like culture vultures. Everybody's looking for a like and a comment. And then there's a lot of people in our culture who have so much influence and have so many followers and can touch so many people that fast that it's like, once you saw it there, you don't need to see it again. So you saw it there, now you believe it, and then you see it up, but you're like, oh, I saw that already. That's old news. So you're not just going off of the first thing that you saw on these big pages. You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta be a smart enough person to know how to distinguish it for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta know what's a credible source and what's not. It's a whole lot of BS on the internet, but you gotta be like common sensed enough to know
a lot of people where we from. A lot of people where we from prison. A lot of people who got mental health comes in a lot of play. And there's a lot of people that's in prison and a lot of people that we grew up with and in our neighborhoods that are having mental problems and are not so advanced and can't take in so much information, and they can't do what me and you could do to weave through the bullshit. They don't know how to do that. That's where a lot of the craziness happens, and they take the information the wrong way, and then they go react off of it different than me and you would because they not as intelligent as we are. Or I wouldn't even want to say intelligent, but like, you know, there's a lot of people out there that got mental issues, man, that are sick, you know?
Fazion, you're very opinionated on IG. And you get in trouble sometimes with your fans. Your own fans be butting heads with your fans. How do you decompress, man, when you throw it out there and they get offended?
Because they don't know. I like to speak from facts. I'm only going to speak from what I know or what I've seen from my. I'm not going to ever speak from a second opinion. I'm never gonna do that. They don't. A lot of times they didn't know. Like I called Jay-Z Goofy Blood. They was like, "Oh, why are you talking about Jay-Z?" A lot of them must be speaking from places you can't touch them. Niggas talk shit in the same place.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, though, there's a lot of people saying that Trump is the one defending us, man, with the whole COVID situation. That there's people trying to get him out of office. That's trying to get him out of office. That's like pushing the whole narrative that's going on with the COVID situation. And I'm like stuck with that. I'm like trying to really do the knowledge about all that.
But you got to think it's population control. So from birth control. The eugenics movement has been population control from day one. Slavery, what they did to the Jews in Nazi Germany, all that was a part of population control. And right now, Trump's so radical, he gonna expose his ex-homies, his friends that ain't letting him get enough percentage of the company. You gotta think, they knew it was coming because patented it in 2006. COVID been patented since 2006.
Damn.
Bill Gates, you can't patent something that's not created.
It seemed like them people are trying to get Trump out. They want
of
Trump.
Of course, because he exposing their hand.
So are we more in danger with Trump out?
Once again, it's one of them.
Trump is out. If Trump is out and these people are still in power and other guys come in, are we more?
Biden is. Listen, I'll vote for Trump over Biden on Bloods. If I had to vote,
as crazy as it seems, that's what it looked like, man. It looked like we kind of need Trump in there at this point. Is what it's looking like. I know it's a lot of it's a contradicting statement because you know there's a lot. I feel like he lost us. You know, I feel like he's not a great speaker, man. Like he don't know how to talk. Like I feel like Obama was a great speaker. He know how to talk and get to the people. But I feel like old boy here don't know how to talk. When he talk, things go left. It seems like a lot of things go left. And when he says certain comments with the Mexicans and shit like that, you know, I feel like a lot of our people felt like he was racist and we went against him. So it was like for a while, we just been like, fuck Trump, he racist. But now I'm seeing all this chaos and everything going crazy. It seems like there's a battle up top and they're trying to pull old boy up out of there. And it seemed like, I don't know which one is the lesser evil.
My standpoint on Trump is, I just said, honestly, what has he done to affect my life or our life as black people that while everybody feels like, oh, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Trump, I'm like, other than it being the Nipsey, other than the Nipsey and YG little campaign that they had going, and it being a social media kind of wave, what has he really done to affect your life while everybody feel like fuck him?
I think it started out there with that wave. I think it started with the Mexican thing, with the comments with the Mexican and the wall. And I think that's where the West Coast took it personal. Obviously, there's a lot of Mexicans out in the West. And that's where the whole fuck Donald Trump wave came in from, with the whole wall and the Mexicans. And I think that's where he lost the hip hop community at, was with that. I think it started there. You know what I mean? It started there.
The dude is a divider, bro. First and foremost, he's a divider. Trump, you know, what has he done to like actually make your life worse? I can tell you right now, much of our conversation that we had was because of all of these protests that's going on due to George Floyd being murdered. Now, one can make the argument that Trump has fueled the fire for racism. You know, this dude is a catalyst for division. The dude is divisive. He's one of the dudes. Remember when he told the police in New York to be rough with blacks when they handling them? You know, get a little rough with them. You know, all of this here is.
He didn't say with blacks though. He didn't. Did he say with blacks or did he just say with
criminals? He said when you're arresting them, be a little rough. Don't take it so light. I'm gonna send you something that got all of it in there. I'm gonna send it to all y'all. It's everything he said.
In America, crime and punishment is code for black folks. All right. When them motherfuckers start talking about being tough on crime, they ain't talking about everybody else. They talking about us. Because if they was talking about everybody else, they'd be doing this. They'd be giving other motherfuckers 30 years for a rock. They'd be running around here harassing everybody else like they do us.
Minorities get it though. I mean, listen. I think minorities across the board. Listen, you could be in a.
No, they don't. Everybody don't get it like we get it. That's a lie. Everybody don't get it like blacks get it. That's a lie. Everybody do not get that shit like black folks get it. You know, you don't see everybody, you know, in record numbers every damn day. The police gunning somebody down, a Hispanic or white person down and shit that's unarmed. You don't see that every day, but you do see that from about black folks. You do see the police handling black folks every day, slamming them to the ground, beating them up. And all kinds of dumb shit.
And I don't know where I'm from. Where I'm from
is divisive.
Where I'm from, Spanish, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, they getting hung every single day. They getting killed. They getting beat up by the cops. You look at some of this footage, even in New York, a lot of the footage that's over here is the Spanish people. The girls that just got hit. The worst thing that we seen so far, besides the Floyd situation of abuse, was to a Spanish woman, where he cracked the Spanish woman's face open. We deal with the abuse every single day, just like black people. And to me, there ain't no difference. So when you say black, I'm thinking blacks, Puerto Ricans, same shit. We all Black Lives Matter, Spanish Lives Matter. Like, it's the same shit.
Did the Spanish woman survive?
We die every day. I got homies
but I'm saying, are the police executing Spanish people every day?
Yeah, every single day. You see where I'm from, everything ain't televised. I got homies, that's like saying everything ain't televised. You know, where I'm from, like, you know, the biggest drug dealers are not just Big Meech and BMF. Like, where I'm from, you know, everything is not televised. Everything is not, like, you know, spoken and niggas die every single day and it gets thrown under the rug. Puerto Rican people, Dominican people, every single day they getting killed in the streets every single day and it gets thrown under the rug. Same way it gets thrown under the rug with black people. Floyd is not the only one that just got caught on the camera, so it went. When shit gets caught on the camera, shit goes viral. Anything that's on the camera.
So you believe that the police is gunning down Hispanic people with the same Spanish people with the same frequency that they're gunning down blacks?
Yes.
Willie, one question. First of all, that wasn't for white people that killed Floyd. That was not for white people. That was a black, that was an Asian, that wasn't for white people. So when you say white people got it, that was a black, Asian, white, and I think, I don't know what the other person
was. A black dude there too?
I ain't see no black dude.
Who? It was a black dude? What was a black dude?
I ain't see no black dude. They was beating him up. They was beating him up in the truck before they even threw him out. They was beating him up in the truck before they even threw him out. And when they got the side range, when they got the side camera, it was the dude that's kneeling on his neck and 3 other white guys.
Yo, when you say the justice system, when you go behind that wall in New York State, you go to Attica, you go to Sing Sing, you go to Clinton, you go to any Max, go to any jail. There's gonna be just as many Puerto Ricans and Dominicans as it is blacks. We just as deep. This is deep. Every one of us, we deal with all the same issues. Any jail you go to, it's gonna be a million motherfucking Spanish motherfuckers in there in New York State. There ain't one jail you gonna go to where it's more blacks than it's more Spanish. It's Spanish and blacks all day, every day. That's all you gonna make.
And that's New York State, but I'm talking about all the rest of these motherfucking states.
No, like I said,
we got 51 more states out here with a bunch of wild. Well, these motherfuckers is
I got you, but Texas is a little. I mean, you know, where you from Houston. Houston's a little different than where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
absolutely.
JoJo, Chicago has a Latino huge thing. This, that, whatever. Would you agree or you disagree? Because you could say it about Chicago, but it's hoods that's black, it's hoods that's Latino. So I mean,
but that's why they just said minority. They don't separate it. It's just a minority. The minorities get.
They ain't only here, nigga. You got Philly, you got Connecticut. You want me to name all the states, man, that you go to? We can name all the U.S. states. There's certain states where we ain't deep at Spanish people, but you go to Connecticut, you go to Philly, you go to anywhere where up and down this whole East Coast where the Spanish population is big at. It's the numbers is exactly the same. And I know in the West Coast, the numbers got to be close with all the damn Mexicans out there. I know Texas is definitely filled with the Mexicans. Huh?
All Spanish people don't look like my brother. You from the Bronx?
Me? Now I'm from the Lower East Side.
Oh, yeah. All Spanish people, they look like me and you. Willie, you know what I'm saying?
I couldn't understand what he said. What he said?
I was telling Willie, all Spanish people don't look alike.
Oh yeah, facts, man. You go to Puerto Rico, there's Spanish people blacker than Fazion.
Exactly.
There's Spanish people blacker than Fazion. Puerto Ricans blacker than Fazion.
You go to Honduras, Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba. Honduras.
But you got to think about it. It's like, once again, that's just a language of the colonizer. That still don't determine your bloodline. The language don't determine the bloodline. That's still the misconception that we continue to keep having. That's just your language of the colonizer. Until we really go deep and see, it's gonna be islanders and people from cities. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have Belizeans, Jamaicans, Curacao, all them, every island is somebody colonized. They still ruled by Britain right now today.
I just think that once everybody realizes that they're all in the same fight and that the same thing has happened, that you know, there is no only us or only this. I mean, I think it's minorities, obviously certain minorities that's not getting it by far, but it depends on where you live at that specific area. I mean, you know, in Chinatown, those Chinese gangs was getting banged up and busted up and shot and this and that, just like, you know, anywhere else or whatever.
They handle it in their own community though. You can't go to Chinatown and just take one of them motherfuckers out. You have to. It's gonna be like the end of the dragon in that motherfucker. It's gonna be a fight. Trust me. It's just like going. You can't go to East LA and be like, hey, no, you got to get permission.
Anyway, yo, listen. Thanks, guys. I know. I really appreciate Tru Life and Fazion coming on, guys. And I know Bosco has to run right now. He's got to do a number 2.
Bosco got a curfew. Don't you go outside.
Well, I'm out. I'm gonna holla at y'all. JoJo, Willie.
All right.
I'm gonna holla at y'all.